So, Splatoon 3's expansion pass has been revealed officially by Nintendo, and we've been given a pretty good look at what we can expect in Wave 1 and also Side Order as well. The trailer we got was honestly full of all kinds of interesting secrets and fun details that you might want to know about. So in this video, I'm going to be going over 10 of those related to Wave 1 and then also Side Order. Some will be hidden secrets that you might have missed, others will be fun details that I wanted to point out. There's a lot to check out here. So let's dive right into this. Starting us off, we only got a little hint of what our surroundings would be in Side Order, but it does give us a pretty good idea of what we can expect. It seems like we actually are in the Splatoon 2 plaza, which is pretty cool, and you can see how much this world has been affected, seemingly because order has been put into place in this particular story mode. It's honestly a really interesting contrast to Wave 1, which takes us to Inkopolis, which is so colourful and happy, and here we have the new story mode, which so far is looking very gloomy and honestly quite dark in some parts as well. It'll definitely be interesting to see how these surroundings change once we finish Side Order. Perhaps some colour will be brought back to the Splatoon 2 plaza. Now, going to the Wave 1 Inkopolis DLC, we actually have some completely brand new characters which we've never seen before. First of all, we have Shelly and Donnie, which run Ammo Knights, of course, in place of Sheldon, and there's a very interesting detail about that I want to share soon. And then we also have Fried Crumbs, who seems to be the counterpart to Krusty Sean. No idea why Krusty Sean hasn't returned. I guess it's because he's on his adventures still on the Nintendo Switch Online app, but I definitely miss him a lot and wish he would return at some point. From what we can tell, the shops won't sell anything different than what we get in Splatsville, so that is something to keep in mind, but it's still cool to see new characters taking part in the game, and hopefully in future we get to see even more. Now, as I mentioned about Shelly and Donnie, as someone pointed out over on Twitter, KitMeNot says, also, what the hell, did Sheldon have kids? And it seems like, yeah, he did. Shelly and Donnie seems a bit too on the nose, and of course the characters look like him a lot. They're running Ammo Knights. I think it's fairly safe to say they are his kids, or there's just some kind of relation there for sure. So I think that's pretty cool, honestly. That definitely makes me wonder if Fried Crumbs has some kind of relation to Krusty Sean as well. You can definitely see somewhat of a resemblance there. So yes, we're getting more families in Splatoon, which is really cool. Now, we do have brand new characters, but we also have some old characters sporting new looks. For a start, Annie has a brand new look, which is pretty cool. It's not incredibly dissimilar from what she had in the past game, but still, I like the way it looks. And Jalonzo has a slightly different look as well, but of course, he's still sporting his signature cap. I honestly can't imagine Jalonzo without this cap at this point, so yeah, it had to be done. You might have missed also that Spike has a slightly different look. This time he is sporting some very fancy shades, and he even has a goatee as well. Merch grew up a ton since Splatoon 2, so it only makes sense that Spike would grow a little bit as well. It's really cool to see all of the character progression with these different characters and seeing how they've evolved as time has passed, as evidently quite a lot of time has passed between Splatoon 2 and Splatoon 3, so it's really cool to see the progression. As we know, Callie and Marie haven't really changed that much from the first games, but I guess they are superstars in their own right, so maybe their image is just part of their brand. Moving back to Side Order, we have some more interesting details about that. Someone over on Twitter known as P Jiggles mentioned that, so, the second wave of Splatoon 3's paid DLC is called Die Toren der Orde in Dutch, which translates to the Tower of Order. Seems like a good hint for what the wave has to entail. And I've actually seen a few different languages translated to something very similar to this, so it does seem very likely that the Splatoon 2 tower will have a big part in this story mode. And honestly, it seems very likely that we will actually be climbing it, and that's where all the levels will take place. I think honestly this is such a good idea for the story mode. It's going to be so exciting. And although we don't really know too much about it yet, I feel like there's going to be a lot of content there to enjoy, which is definitely really exciting. You'll have to let me know in the comment section down below what some of your theories are about Side Order. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of really interesting ideas that I definitely want to hear. Now, a lot of images actually did flash on screen when they were teasing Side Order, and some of these actually show us Pearl and Marina. So, in case anyone was wondering whether these characters are going to be featured in this DLC like we originally got teased, yes, they are, and it seems like they're going to play a pretty big part in the story, and that it's very likely we'll actually get some backstory on them. We have one really interesting image which shows them kind of playing together, I believe. So I feel like there's honestly going to be a lot of lore about these two characters. After all, we are in the world of Splatoon 2, so it only makes sense that they would be here as well. I definitely think we're going to learn a lot more about these characters, which I know is something that people have been waiting for ever since Nintendo teased that we would be getting them as a part of the DLC. So it's definitely really exciting to actually get a look at them, and I can't wait to see what kinds of things they do throughout this expansion. And hopefully at the end they'll actually be able to celebrate the Splatfest with us just like Callie and Marie now can. I definitely think that's going to be a thing. I've also seen a few people point out that during this image we can see what looks like the nuclear spike field, and I'll show that image on screen as well. So yeah, Side Order honestly looks like it's going to be pretty dark. It's really leaning into this apocalyptic world, showing what happens when Order takes control in the Splatoon universe seemingly. I can't wait until we learn more details about this, but of course Nintendo isn't going to reveal everything as this is the story mode, so we're going to have to play it ourselves before we learn too much honestly, which, you know what, I'm completely okay with. Something really interesting that a fellow YouTuber ProChara mentioned on Twitter is that it seems like we will actually be getting even further expansions in the future due to the color scheming of what we've currently seen. They say that, by the way, considering the colors, it's likely there are 4 total waves to the Splatoon 3 expansion. So, as you can see, Inkopolis is marked out as blue, but we also have a sort of cyan color, a red, and a yellow as well. Now, this could just be how they decided to design it, but honestly, I definitely agree that it seems like there is more to this. The fact that they labeled Inkopolis with the blue color, and you can see the other tags in the background as well, that does kind of indicate that we will be seeing 4 waves in total, which honestly would be so much content. I can't even imagine what the other waves would possibly be. Maybe another sort of hub world for us to go to, and then another full story mode. That would be a crazy amount of content, but then again, we are getting the DLC fairly soon into the game's lifespan compared to Splatoon 2, so I'm sure they have a lot of time to introduce even more content to keep people really excited with these expansion passes. The future is honestly looking really bright for Splatoon 3, there are so many exciting things here, and I feel like there's a lot more for us to discover still. Let me know in the comments section down below though what fun details and secrets you've noticed within the DLC and expansion pass. If you made it to the end, then be sure to comment DLC gang down below so I know that you did. If you enjoyed, then be sure to leave a like, and if you haven't already, consider subscribing and turning on notifications for more. If you want to support my content, consider becoming a member by clicking the join button or the link in the description. You can get some exclusive perks for doing so, like emojis, a badge by your name, and you even get featured at the end of my videos.